All right, all right. Welcome to the call tonight. Whether you are an associate that's here or you're a guest of someone that invited you, maybe you know why you're here, maybe you were tricked on the call. I don't really know. But for however you got here, welcome. And this is my disclaimer. If you got invited to a Zoom on a Friday night and you were super excited about seeing some boring slides, I am going to disappoint you because I'm not going to use slides. Sorry about that. I know that is some people's idea of a really good Friday night, but it's not mine. So we're just gonna have a chat tonight. I woke up this morning and just felt like I wanted to share with some people about what this opportunity is and what it has done for me and my family, and just sort of share some details about how it could impact you. And so when you're looking at an opportunity, often we overcomplicate it a lot. And so I'm just going to tell you the three things that you need to figure out when you're looking at an opportunity is what is it? What do these people sell, right? How much does it cost for me to get involved? That's usually question number two. And question number three is, okay, great, she did a bunch of stuff. Can I do this? Right? That's the question. Because frankly, if the opportunity involves, being a bikini model on stage, I'm not going to make the cut, right? I'm also not a prize fighter, so I'm probably not going to join an opportunity that requires me to go to like Fight Club, and that's not going to work out. So you got to find out if it's something that makes sense for you. And so really, it's those three things. And so I'm going to start with my story, and then I'm going to answer those three questions for you, and we're going to try and get it done in a timely fashion because it's Friday, and I'm 100% sure you have better things to do than listen to Melissa Collins. So my name is Melissa Collins. And I have been in the social selling, network marketing, MLM, whatever word you call it, space for about 17 years. And I've always been in the product space previous to this endeavor. I've, selling pills, potions, and lotions, things that was my whole identity, helping people want to be healthier, get healthier, talking about, better skin, better hair, better nails, weight loss, all kinds of things. And I did that for 17 years. I made millions of dollars in that industry. And I was a top leader. I was a corporate officer in a company. And then I ended up at the end, I was an owner of a product MLM company. And so I've seen every single angle of that business. Drop a one in the comments if you've ever been in a product based company in this industry. I just want to see what the makeup is of this room. Yeah, okay. So there's a lot of you. And so about 2 years ago, I started saying the words, the industry is shifting. Um, and I really thought the industry was shifting, but about a year later, about a year ago, I decided that was incorrect. The industry is not shifting. The industry is sitting still. Something else is shifting. Okay. Something is changing, but the industry is sitting still. It's exactly the same as it's always been. Nothing has really changed. Why is it so hard for leaders to succeed? Why is it becoming so hard for people to make money in that industry? Why is it not working the way it used to work before? Why are leaders who used to make 100 grand a month making 5 grand a month? Why is that happening? Because that's real. And that's what's happening out there right now. Why are the top leaders that companies are putting on stages talking about top leadership making 5 grand a month? What in the world? 5 years ago, a CEO wouldn't have put someone on stage at a company convention making less than 50 grand a month. Why is it the $5,000 a month leaders up there now? What's going on? And so I started really thinking about it. And here's where I've come to. Do you guys remember? Some of you are old enough, you don't have to dime yourself out. I'm old enough to remember when I was a kid and it was time to go back to school. My mom used to bring me down to Main Street and we used to buy a pair of shoes from the same guy every year at the same store every year. You knew you were in the next grade because you got to go to the next shoe rack. You knew exactly what grade you were in by the shoe rack, and he knew your shoe size and all that stuff. Well, we don't bring our kids down to Main Street anymore. Those shoe stores don't even exist, do they? Absolutely not. We go to Target, TJ Maxx, Amazon, Shein, wherever you're shopping for your kids for back to school, but it's not on Main Street. What happened? At some point, Main Street had this shift happen. The Main Street stores didn't shift. That industry didn't shift. That business model didn't shift. The consumers shifted. Consumer behavior shifted. They moved. That's what's happening right now in product MLM. The consumers, they're leaving. They're smarter. They know that MLM products are marked up because they have to support a comp plan. They know they can get the same product for half the price on Amazon, TikTok Shop, Costco, or somewhere else, and that's where they've left. They're smart enough to read labels now. It used to be that we found out about the best supplements from our friends because we didn't have constant every 3 second information on social media. That's why that industry boomed. Well, we don't need that anymore. Consumer behavior has absolutely shifted. And so, what happens when all the consumers leave the MLM space? Well, the businesses, the companies are built on the backs of distributors now. That's absolutely the case. You take away the five top leaders in any company, the whole company shuts down. I don't care how big the company is. And that's what's happening right now. And what's happening is the people who would be the bread and butter of the company, the people making $1,000 to $2,000 a month, they need that income. They're living on that income, and that income is ticking down. So they're leaving to find other opportunities, and those companies are falling apart, which is why you keep seeing companies go affiliate, go direct to consumer. It's why you see product leaders shifting out of that industry. And so in October of this year, well, about a year ago, I said to Brandon, my fiance, I said, I think, and he was the CEO of our product MLM, I said, I think I'm done. I can't look people in the face and honestly say they can get what I got here anymore. And I'm not going to lie to people, and I'm not going to draw people somewhere telling them they can make money and they can't make money. I don't think this space is safe anymore, and I don't want to do it anymore. And I stopped. And I started building my own two companies. So I own two other traditional companies, have nothing to do with MLM or affiliate. And I started building those and was perfectly happy and peaceful until he came and disturbed my life in October of 2025. And he said, Hey, I think you should take a look at this thing. And when he told me what it was, I said, absolutely not. That is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. That is a boring company. It's 100 million years old and it's filled with boring old people. And I'm not a boring old person. I'm fighting that to the death. I'm not going there. And he was like, just hear them out. So I'm polite and respectful, and he asked me to get on a Zoom. I completely ignored the conversation because I didn't pay attention to the presentation, if we're being really honest, because frankly, I wasn't going to do it. And the company, just so you know, if you don't know what we're talking about yet, is called Legal Shield. It used to be called Prepaid Legal. They have been around for 54 years. They're a debt-free company. They have $100 million in the bank. Great. That's not even sexy. That's just boring. Okay. And they sell, we'll talk about the service that they sell. But I just thought, absolutely, I'm a product girl. I talk about weight loss and better skin, better hair, better nails. I talk about hypey stuff. I post before and after pictures, and that's what I do. How would I ever sell that? No one would ever listen to me. And so I got through the presentation. I said, I'm not doing that. And Brayden said, well, we need a trust anyway. We were going to pay 3 grand to our lawyer to do one. And with Legal Shield, it's only 250 bucks. So it just makes sense to sign up. So I'm going to sign you up. I said, okay, whatever. I'm going to bed. I'm not doing that. You're trying to trick me. Went to bed. I get up in the morning. My 21-year-old son called me all upset because his landlord had sent him a letter saying that he needed to be out of his house. He rents a house. He needed to be out of his house in 30 days because he has an ESA dog. Now, I'm no lawyer, but I don't think you can evict somebody for an ESA dog. And I also don't think you can evict somebody in an email. I think you need like papers with fancy looking stamps on the top of them to evict people and like notice of service or something. Maybe that's not even the right words. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that that's not right. And I said, well, the good news is I'm basically a genius and just signed up for a legal service. And I think that you're covered. Remember, I didn't listen to the presentation. I thought I had heard something about kids being covered up to 26. He's only 21. So I thought, you're in, kid, it's free. He called the lawyer. The lawyer called him back and said, son, you're not covered because you don't live with your mom. Yes, up to 26, but you're going to live with your mom. So the kid calls me back, gets a link. He knows I have a link to everything. Gets a link, buys a $37 legal plan. And I think I go to bed that night thinking I saved the world. Everything's solved. The lawyer got back to him. He feels real good about it. He's writing a letter to the landlord. No problem. Still not doing this because that was dumb. Not doing it. Woke up the next morning and did something that I do every single morning and have for over a decade. It's just a money habit that I have. I open all my bank accounts, I check my deposits, and I track them in a money tracker app to track my income. And there was this deposit from Legal Shield. I actually thought they had returned my money. So I sent a screenshot. I said, Brandon, they hate us already. I told you they wouldn't like us there. We're not their people. They, refunded me, I think. And I sent the screenshot of my bank account to Brian Carruthers, who's the top income earner here. And I said, why they refund me? He said, that's your commission. And I was like, I'm sorry, excuse me, what? This kid bought a $37 whatever widget, and you're telling me that they paid me more than 100% of what he spent? That doesn't make any sense in my mind. I've been in the product industry forever. You sell something for $37, you may be made four, and you're definitely not getting paid direct deposit the next day. So it cracked something inside my brain. And what I know for sure is I wasn't looking for an opportunity. I didn't need, I was making 100 grand a month in my other businesses. I was not looking for an opportunity, which is also what made me so hesitant because I didn't want to come in and build. I didn't want to do more work. And I definitely didn't want to do more work for just a few grand extra a month or even 10 grand a month. It's just not enough for me to be distracted by from my other companies. But I have a huge network of people that follow me for, opportunity advice. And I have this huge group of people who are looking for something and have been just kind of let down from the product industry. And so on October 29th, I made a post about, some Zooms I was doing, or I made the post on October 28th. On October 29th, we launched. We did three Zooms. And on October 30th, Legal Shield paid me $36,000. And I thought, well, maybe I'll look at it for a few more days. I was like, what did they just do? It was so convenient too, because that was during the government shutdown, right? And so we were actually trapped in New Orleans at Caesars Casino. I've gambled a lot in my life. I've been at casinos a lot in my life. No one has ever deposited $36,000 on a night I'm trapped in a casino. So I thought, must be great news. Anyway, so then, we continued on, and at week three, I had made $100,000. We're here now. In 8 months, I've made $600,000. But that's not the most. Look, whatever. Like that's we can talk about big numbers all day long, but here's the most important part of that story. Yes, I've made $600,000. Yes, my team has been paid over $1 million. But here's the most important part of the story. We have done that. We've done $170,000 in total sales. Sit with that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. This year, we will probably do by the end of the year, when I say year, I mean my 12 months. By the end of my 12-month period, I'm on pace to do probably $200 to $225,000 in sales. I'm also on pace to make close to $1 million. So that's because of advanced commissions. And so people who understand the comp plan, understand product company comp plans, say that's because of advanced commissions. Also, awesome. Let's extrapolate that out. $200,000 to Legal Shield is exactly the same as doing 2 million in sales in a product company. Okay? You go find me a product company that you can do organizationally $2 million of sales in a year and make $1 million. It doesn't exist. If you do $2 million of organizational sales in the best product company comp plan out there, and you have perfect structure and everything works out perfectly, you're gonna maybe make 200 to 250,000. And I'm being real generous here. Real generous. You're not making $1 million. So, I tell you that part of the story because I don't have time to tell you the entire comp plan. And I want you to understand how lucrative this comp plan is. Is it a get rich quick scheme? Like, I don't know. Do you want to get rich slow scheme? I don't know how to help you with that kind of mindset, but if you do, like this isn't it. You just don't do any work and you'll get rich real slow. But you have to put work in. You have to take action. You have to do stuff. There is no opportunity where you join and then money just appears. If that ever happens, I'll be a billionaire because I'll tell you all about it first and you'll pay me more to get in. Okay? Like it's so crazy that I have to give that disclaimer. You do have to do work to make money. Is it easy? Not always. Is it simple? Yes, very. Incredibly simple. It's the exact same activities every single day. When done consistently for an hour or two a day, you can make a very real and very consistent income here. The other part about this that's incredibly different is it's service-based. It's very residual. I will tell you right now, I'll go to the death fighting on this one. There is not a product company that's residual. I'm really sorry, but their retention in the average across the industry is about 18% in a product company. If they have 30%, they should be shouting it and screaming it from the rooftops. There's never been a product company that has more than 30% retention. And if they told you it was more than 30%, they were doing some kind of fancy month over month MLM math. I'm talking about year over year retention, okay? It doesn't exist over 30%. That's the truth. And anyone who knows anything about the industry will tell you that that's correct. As a team, We have almost 90% retention after 8 months. I have 87% personal retention in this company after 8 months. No one's leaving. People are not leaving. So that tells you that it's residual, okay? Because we get paid residually. So what is it that we sell? What is this service? So let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever had a legal question, but you didn't call an attorney because you were afraid of what it was going to cost? See, a lot of times I talk to people and they say, oh, well, I don't need that service because I don't use lawyers. No, you would use lawyers. You don't have access to lawyers because you think that if you call a lawyer, it's going to be too expensive. And yes, whoever said that in the comments, that's if you can get them on the phone. Good luck because you're about to spend half your day talking to secretaries who are gatekeepers to get you through. Especially family lawyers. I don't know if you've ever tried to hire a family lawyer, but that is actual hell on earth. You're going to make 20 phone calls, you're going to maybe get one back, and maybe that dude will let you hire him for an outrageous amount of money. And every time you send him a text, you just spent 500 bucks. Like it's anyway. So, yes, you can get any kind of lawyer in this program. They cover all 94 areas of law. So it's about access. And that's exactly why Legal Shield exists. So think about it like this. You guys have health insurance, you have car insurance, do you have life insurance? Is anybody like, raise your hand if you're super hoping that tomorrow you get to use your car insurance? Is anybody like, man, I hope I get to use my car insurance? No. Is anybody, are you guys going to sleep tonight going, dang, I've been paying for that life insurance. Hope I get to use it tomorrow. I mean, I certainly hope you don't get to use it ever, right? Yeah. So forget about prices go up. If you use your car insurance, it means you got in a crash, like, or something bad happened. If you lose your life insurance, you're not even gonna know about it because you did. So you have to think about it like that. But legal issues happen every single day, and most people have absolutely no protection. Right now, Brandon and I are going through the absolute joy of dealing with the Medicaid system because his mom is in skilled nursing care. She went in the hospital, now she's in skilled nursing, and then we have to move her to long-term care. And I gotta tell you, Legal Shield has been an absolute blessing. I mean, just knowing that they keep saying stuff to us that doesn't seem right, doesn't make sense, and we keep calling the lawyer for consultations because that whole system, our system is so wildly broken, guys. I'm sorry, but here's an unsolicited piece of advice. Unless you want to end up in a concentration camp when you're 90, go get long-term care insurance right now. For real. Because if you don't have long-term care insurance, you're going to something that literally looks like a concentration camp. They're horrible. Unless your family has the ability to pay six to $10,000 a month for you to live in a decent assisted living facility, because that's what we're facing right now. And most families don't have that. So they don't call them concentration camps, but if you've ever been in one, it's shocking. It's just appalling. Anyway, that's a whole other issue. So Legal Shield gives you access to a dedicated law firm for everyday legal issues that life's going to throw at you without worrying about paying hundreds of dollars an hour every time you pick up the phone. Members can get legal consultations on an unlimited number of issues, document review. In many cases, a lawyer is going to write a letter or make a phone call on your behalf. My ex-husband was just telling me a story. So he has Legal Shield. He was just telling me a story this week. He lives in Florida. He has an HOA. Something happened. I'm not going into the details of the story because I don't even have permission to tell it. But I mean, I gave him children, so I can do what I want, right? That's how it works. So he apparently didn't pay his 2025 HOA fees somehow. They switched HOAs. It didn't come out. I don't really know the details. He didn't pay it. You're supposed to pay it, right? So you signed a contract saying you pay it. You didn't pay it for whatever reason. 2026, he gets the bill. He realizes it's behind. He calls the new HOA and says, I got to pay this because I don't want to get in trouble. The lady kind of gives him bad information and he ends up paying just the 2026 bill. A couple weeks later, he gets a foreclosure notice that they're going to try and foreclose on his house because of a $200 bill from 2025. So he calls the late HOA lady back and she says, oh, yeah, that's the 2025. I'm not even allowed to talk to you. You can't pay that to me. You have to pay the collection agency. The collection agency has tacked on $800 in fees and charges. Anyway, the bill is up to $2,400 now. So he forgot that he had Legal Shield for a second, I think, and he looked into a local lawyer. You're gonna pay $500 to $1,500 in a retainer to have a lawyer deal with that. At the end of the day, when he called his Legal Shield lawyer, he said that lawyer did about 5 to 8 hours of work for him. It didn't cost him anything. But here's the key that I want you to hear. This is important. This is not some hero story. He didn't win. He didn't like the advice he got. Uh, the advice he got was you messed up and you have to pay that bill. You signed a contract. So, like, unless you want a lien put on your house or you want a foreclosure, you have to pay that bill. I guess the lawyer did get it down like $200 or something. But what he said to me was, that wasn't the result I wanted, but it felt really good having legal consultation to know what my actual rights were without having to go spend another $1,000 on top of the $2,400 bill. And so I really like that story. It's really important for you to understand that story because just to be a little bit extreme here, just because you purchase Legal Shield, you also can't go punch your neighbor in the face and not get arrested. I'm pretty sure if you punch people in the face, that's still against the law. And even though you have Legal Shield, you will get a lawyer to talk to tell you, hey, man, you shouldn't have done that. And here's the repercussions. Here's the form you should, sign. So it's legal representation. It's not a get out of jail free card. And I feel really strongly that we need to say that because sometimes people forget. Like you can't sign up for Legal Shield and then magically break your lease. That's against the contractual law, right? So what this is legal access. So what kinds of things does it help with? Maybe you're buying or selling a home. Maybe you're signing a lease. Your landlord won't return your deposit. You have a contractor that took your money and disappeared. You get a speeding ticket. You need a will. You need a power of attorney. Someone is threatening to sue you. You're putting your mom in assisted living and you need help with the Medicare stuff. You have a family law question. You want to change your name. You want an uncontested divorce, a consumer dispute, like someone won't give you back a deposit that you should have gotten back. You need a contract reviewed before you sign it. Even something as simple as, hey, can my employer do this? Can my employer change this rule? Yeah, your social media account gets shut down. You can write a demand letter. I had a demand letter written to Meta for my social media account because they took it down. It was bots taking it down. They saw a word and took it down, and I didn't even break community standards. They took my monetization away, and they basically stopped recommending my profile, which is my whole business. Um, Legal Shield wrote a demand letter. A week later, the Meta's attorneys got back to my lawyer and said, we will forward this on to our client and take a look at it. 45 days later, my account was completely restored. I had been trying to fight that on my own for 3 years. It was like a miracle for me when that thing turned back on. So anyway, that is the first service that we sell. So we sell two things. We sell Legal Shield and we sell ID Shield. Now, most of you probably think you know what identity theft is, but identity theft isn't just someone opening a credit card in your name anymore. That's what most people think of when they think of identity theft. But what about hacked bank accounts, tax fraud, medical identity theft, social security number being sold on the dark web? Even your child's identity can be stolen before they turn 18. ID Shield continuously monitors your identity and alerts you if something suspicious happens, including monitoring for things like social security number misuse, dark web exposure, public records, address changes, credit related activity. But here's what makes it really different. Most companies send you an alert that says, good luck, someone stole your identity. Most of the ID products that you're purchasing out there on the open market are identity monitoring. So they tell you when something happens. Well, that's cool, except what about how do we get it fixed, right? ID Shield doesn't stop there. If your identity is compromised, you get licensed private investigators that work on your behalf to restore your identity, and they guarantee complete restoration. So they stay with you until it's resolved. If you get a serious identity breach, you're looking at a couple hundred hours to get that fixed. And I don't know about you, but if I don't have ID Shield, I'm gonna have to just go with the new name or steal someone else's identity because I don't have 300 hours to go fix my own. Like I'm gonna have to be somebody else. I don't know. Um, and so when you put these two services together, you're protecting two of the most valuable things you have, your legal rights and your identity. People say all the time that, oh, the justice system is broken. Nope. The justice system works perfectly fine. You don't have access to it. And that's the truth. You just simply don't have access to it. And so what do we sell? Let's go back to Legal Shield. So we sell family legal plans. We sell legal plans for small businesses. We sell legal plans as benefits to employees. So 40,000 companies in the United States and North America carry Legal Shield as a benefit to their employees. And then we sell identity theft protection. Your ID Shield comes with a free Trend Micro VPN. If you don't know what a VPN is or why you should use it, that is what you should be doing tonight, Googling that instead of watching Netflix, because you are making very bad life decisions every time you go out in public on Wi-Fi. You should have a VPN on your phone and on any laptop that you use in any public area, unless you don't like the balance in your bank account and you're okay with it getting stolen. Like it's just really not wise to not use a VPN. You get a free Trend Micro VPN. A Trend Micro VPN, by the way, is 20 bucks a month. ID Shield for an individual is 18 bucks a month. So it's just a no, like the more I talk, it's going to become more of a no-brainer that you need this service. Let me tell you the other no-brainer part of this whole deal. Being a member of Legal Shield, they have something called member perks. So we have this app called PerkSpot. Most people who use PerkSpot, who actually open the app and use it, save $1,800 a year on things they're already buying, like your car insurance, your phone bill, Costco. Someone saved 50% on their Instacart membership today. You have to buy Instacart so you get the free delivery thing. Instead of paying 99 for that, she paid 50. There's her legal plan this month, completely paid for. And so PerkSpot saves you more money than Legal Shield and ID Shield together cost you for the year. Just that alone. Now, let's not forget about the fact that you don't have a will and you absolutely need one. You should have a will. Your will is included. That's going to cost you $500 to $1,000. I've just showed you between PerkSpot and your will how to pay for this service for the next 2 to 3 years. So the service is something that absolutely everybody needs. And when you get used to, when you get good at, when you go to trainings and you get good at learning how to explain what the service is, it's very simple to sell. It's very easy to help people see the value in it. It's also a pretty low cost, cost effective service. I mean, Legal Shield is $29, $39, or $49. And identity theft is 18 or 28, depending if you want to protect just yourself or your whole family, and up to like 10 kids. And so I was like, so there's no products, there's no inventory. I mean, for those of you who are in product companies, don't even lie about this. You absolutely had a closet full of stuff just for that product company. You did. You had way more than you were ever going to consume. You know why? Because every month when they wanted to push, remember when I said it's built on the backs of the distributors? Yeah, it was. It was built on your back. Every time a leader or every time the company wanted to push more volume, they came out with a rainbow unicorn pony flavor that just everybody had to have. They hyped around it and then you bought more. You end up with an entire closet full of stuff that you're never going to consume. You were spending more than you were making. That can't happen here. I can't guarantee you much in life, but I can guarantee you we're not coming out with a birthday cake flavored legal plan next month, okay? It's just going to be what it is. You're going to know what you're spending every single month. We're not going to come out with some new fancy packaging because there is no packaging, okay? You know exactly what you're going to be spending every month. And so therefore you can run an actual business and you can budget it. You can be intentional about it. You can use PerkSpot and you can save more than it costs you. And now you've got a $0 cost business. It's just so painfully obvious. All right, so let's talk about the other question of what does it cost to get in here? It's a $99 one-time fee to own your book of business. It is, you choose your Legal Shield plan, $29, $39, $49, and the person who invited you here can help you determine what's right for you. You choose your ID Shield plan, 18, it's either 18.95, 18 something or 28 something. It's nominal. You choose ID Shield, you choose Legal Shield. And I would strongly encourage you, if you're going to do this as a business, you get a home business add-on because that's going to cover you. Instead of having to buy a $99 business plan like small businesses do, because we're a home business, we can spend $29 on that. It covers your entire business. So if you get audited, if you have tax questions, anything that happens with your business, if your social media gets shut down and you're not monetized anymore, they'll deal with that. And so you'll need that home business add-on. So you choose your level of membership, and then monthly, your costs are $24.95 is your business cost every month to run your website, your apps, all the things that you need to be qualified for promotions and trips and things like that. And then on this team, we do have one other cost. We run our entire team on an app. It's $14.99 a month. But even that app will actually make you money if you use it and open it. If we have a travel club in our app, if you book one hotel on it, I'm just doing this. We're booking a trip to Turkey, and I was looking at all these cave hotels in what's the name? Cappadocia. I can't say any of these names. It's ridiculous. I shouldn't even try. Anyway, there's these cave hotels. There's hot air balloons. It looks fab. So I went on ChatGPT and said, what hotel should I stay at? ChatGPT said, this is the hotel. So I went and looked at it. It's beautiful. Like it's like fairy tale land, dreamy, beautiful. So I looked it up and it's $1,100 a night. I'm like, no. So Brandon looked on our travel club and found one for $280 a night. Same exact place. So you may not be going to Turkey, but maybe you're going to go to Dallas or somewhere else. So you book, anyway, we have that travel perk. That's just for our team. And then you also can earn rewards in the app. So as you do your work, not when you sell something, not when you earn a commission, not because you completed a sale, but because you did your work. There's a game in the app that teaches you how to go from 0 to 10,000 followers. And pay attention to this part because you were asking yourself, well, yeah, she can do this, but can I do this? Here's the part. Don't miss it. We have an app that actually literally teaches you how to go from 0 to 10,000 followers on social media in 90 days. You want to know how to get organic leads? Go from 0 to 10,000 followers on social media in 90 days. You'll get organic leads. We have a game that teaches you how to do that. When you play the game and you earn coins, you spin a wheel. We have people winning $15 gift certificates, $25 gift certificates, and we have people earning free vacations every single month from that app. So anyway, we just like to make things painfully, just kind of a dumb moment around here. Like, here's the real risk. If we're just being really honest, it's $99 risk because you can't get that back. It's your one-time fee. You're going to spend $99 to see if you can make a business here or not because you need the service anyway. You absolutely need the service anyway. Every single family does. And so for the $99, you're going to own your book of business. You're going to have access to this community and all of the structure and all of the training. You're going to get automated onboarding sent to you. And then you're going to be able to utilize that system to send to your people. So one of the biggest problems that I see in this industry is people don't start because they're like, I don't know how to do it. And I don't know if I'm going to be a good leader. And I don't want to draw people to something. If I don't know you don't need to know how to do anything. Do you know how to read instructions and push buttons? If you can read instructions and push buttons, you can absolutely operate within this team. And if you can't read instructions, then please don't join. By all means, leave now. It's like truly, you do have to be able to read instructions, like basic instructions, English or Spanish. Actually, we have a Spanish app too, because we just opened in Puerto Rico and we have the largest Puerto Rican team in the company growing right now. We're really proud of that. And so yeah, I mean, the answer to can you do this? I would have to ask you, can you read directions and follow them? And if so, then you can absolutely do that. There are hundreds and hundreds of people who have come into this opportunity and made for the first time. These are brand new people that have made their first four-figure check in their first month. Do you guys want to know? I feel like it's important in a company to be able to tell people how to make $1,000. So do you want to know how to make $1,000 in your first month? Here's how. You're going to get started, get back to the person who brought you here, tell them you want to get started. You're going to sign up correctly. You're going to watch the 4-minute video. For the love of everything holy, please watch the 4-minute video so that I don't have to stay up all night fixing accounts. Watch the video, enroll properly. Remember about the reading instructions thing? Let's do that. It's real short. Push Business Builder, you're going to get enrolled. And then you're going to get your Fast Start training. And then you're going to help 3 people get started. So you help 3 people get started, and you and those 3 people together, this includes what they paid for, do $300 in sales, and you've made $1,000. That's literally how simple it is. We have hundreds and hundreds of people that have done that already. And I'm not talking about leaders. Like we have leaders in the industry. I have 25 people at a 6-figure rank in 8 months. That's great. Good for them. Good for me. Who cares? There are hundreds of people who have never done anything of like major significance anyway. They move a team. They're not like professionals. They're like just normal human beings who want to learn how to make some extra income that have crushed that 4-figure first month paycheck. And so I know for a fact that you can do it if you can read and follow directions. All right. So I think that's really it, guys. That's what does it cost to get in? That's what do we sell? And that's can you do it? It has been the best pivot in my professional career. And I still don't really fully understand why I did it. I don't know, it was kind of a God thing. But I'm super glad that I did. It has been incredible for me. It's been incredible for my network that has come here. I've been really having so much fun watching people actually, enjoy this again, actually feel like they have something to be proud of that they can talk about because they're not talking about slinging some protein shake or some fancy drink or some pill that's supposed to make you regrow an arm or whatever it's supposed to do. It's a professional service that you can talk to about anybody. Think about the fact that your network, if you've been in a pill, potion, lotion company, your network is going to open up at a different level. Not for nothing, but I could never call my financial advisor before, who the guy who manages my money. I wasn't going to call him and see if he wanted to sling a protein shake with me. Like, hey, would you like to share my protein shake? He's not going to. He was one of the first people who signed up with me at Legal Shield. Instant enrollment. My accountant, my financial advisor, my realtor. We have lawyers that sign up with us. Like, this is not, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. And so I would encourage you to get back to whoever brought you here, get your spot, get enrolled, ask them for the link to get started. They will send you a short video with how to enroll and the instructions, and then they will send you their link to get started. And my best advice to you, after that, they're gonna send you an onboarding, is follow the instructions, get plugged into the team, and just get started. It's honestly, it's the start that stops most people. And so don't let that be you. All right, guys, I hope everybody has an amazing Friday night. I hope that was a good explanation. We will talk to you all real soon.